everyone, welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media episode 11. I'm John and this is Matt, and today we're here to talk about just a bunch of different stuff related to physical media. That's what we do on these episodes. We do this every single Sunday. Eventually this will be a podcast, and Matt and I just actually bought some new mics, so the audio should get a little better here on the channel.
Not in this video, though.
Not in this video, though. No, this video we're still using our regular old Rode shotgun mic, but we got some new Rode mics that are going to go onto our shirts, and, we'll look professional. Matt actually is looking very professional today. He's wearing a flannel. I don't know what he's going. This is not Matt's usual look.
Well, it's my going out. It's spooky season. It's fall. We got some leaves on the ground, so I figured I'll wear the flannel today. It's a little cool in the basement. Mm-hmm. We haven't turned the heat on yet, so
it's much nicer than last Sunday's Left 4 Dead 2 shirt that was very loose fitting on you.
Yeah, that was a promotional item for when I worked at a video game store, Hollywood. No, not Hollywood.
Well, it was in Hollywood.
Video Game Crazy. And so yeah, I got that shirt when Left 4 Dead 2 came out.
Yeah.
And it was big on me then. It's still big on me.
Yeah, it's tightened up though, that's for sure.
A little bit. Yeah, I filled into it a bit, but it was just a cool shirt.
So, right off the top though, but if you guys do like 4K Blu-ray reviews, movie reviews, tech and game reviews, nothing helps out the channel more than by liking this video and subscribing to the channel. And the first thing we usually like to do is talk about the news. And there wasn't much news this week. I mean, Arrow announced their January 2023 lineup, and I guess the name of the game is Kung Fu.
Yeah, not a Matt genre.
No, and it's not a John genre either. I'm not a big Kung Fu film fan myself. I like a few Bruce Lee films, like Enter the Dragon, and like one big thing that's in this collection is the Sonny Chiba Executioner Collection, I think it's called. And the only thing I know about Sonny Chiba is from True Romance. I know for a fact that Christian Slater's character is a huge fan of Sonny Chiba, and that's really all I know about that. And everything else in this month's in January's Arrow collection isn't something that I would be very interested in. There is an H.P. Lovecraft film in there, like based on one of his books, but other than that, it's just not my kind of thing. And January kind of feels like they're just kind of dumping stuff out to give everyone's wallets a break from Christmas.
Right, yeah, I guess so. But again, Arrow hasn't... I can't remember the last time I got an Arrow release at all, in general.
Well, we got Silent Running coming in December, which we still can't pre-order from Best Buy.
Yeah, it's not up on Best Buy yet, but that is already a Blu-ray from Arrow.
Yeah.
Because that is up there. Yeah, Arrow's been very quiet lately. I'm hoping they're kind of gearing up for the next year, the new year, and maybe we'll get some cool stuff out of Arrow. I saw, it was just a fan art thing, but somebody kind of mocked up a Terminator, a T1.
Oh, I saw this. And they were asking, what would you prefer, an Arrow box set, or who was the other? Criterion. Who would you prefer them to get their holds on? And honestly, I want that. Be Arrow. Because I want that Arrow hardcover with that.
Oh, yeah. I want I want what they did with RoboCop, do it for Terminator.
Yeah.
Hey, while you're at it, do T2, because...
Well, we saw that they're doing another re-release of T2 in a steelbook.
Yeah, another steelbook. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you getting it?
No, and it's got the same scan on it. It is nice though, but you know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of the Sarah Connor Chronicles, that box art.
So for me, it reminded me of Dark Fate steelbook.
Ah, okay, I could see that, but Dark Fate had a lot more yellow in it. This was pretty white looking.
The steelbook?
Maybe I'm thinking of the slipcover then.
Oh,
actually, you're right.
That's the Dark Fate steelbook.
Okay.
Which looks a lot like it, and that's the Genesis steelbook.
Oh, so they want to just make sure that they all have that clean white background.
Right. Yeah. Well, I guess those are the only two. I have the other T2 steelbook from Studio Canal, but
this is a Studio Canal release too, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It's a strip disc. They're using that same disc.
They're really, for a bad 4K. They really are pushing just a bad disc on us.
Yeah, I don't know why they keep doing this. That's crazy to me because, they have to know that people are not happy with it. Oh, okay, you guys hate it? Here's a steelbook. And people hated it again. Oh, you guys still hate it? We're going to do another steelbook.
Yeah.
So, what, like...
Because I guess they were assuming, like, people like me and you who know it's bad, but most people just like, oh shit, Terminator 2. I love Terminator 2, and then they grab it off their shelf, and they probably look at their sales chart and go, oh wow, these are still selling.
Yeah, I like the previous one they did.
That's one of the best steelbooks.
It's a beautiful steelbook, so that was worth the buy, I guess. But I don't think I'm going to pass on this one as well.
And then another thing I want to note is we talked about last week. Rain Man is coming to 4K now. Did you know who's doing the transfer of this? MVD.
Oh, okay, I did hear this.
And I don't know if this is their first transfer where they're the ones who are doing the work, but there's one thing about this transfer that isn't in the press release. It's not confirmed or denied yet, but I was talking to somebody on Twitter about this. Yeah. There's no HDR on it.
Which is crazy. Now, I think this is MVD's first 4K.
Is it like where they're doing the restoration? Because I know they helped out with 12 Monkeys with them doing their discs.
So, again, I think MVD and Arrow have some sort of partnership or association, or maybe one's the mother company or something like that. I know, because like when I got my 12 Monkeys replacement disc sent, it came in a manila envelope from MVD.
Yeah.
It wasn't even from Arrow. So I remember this came up on another episode, and I researched it, and maybe they're just a distributor for Arrow. I'm not 100% sure how it works. It's just very strange that this wouldn't have HDR, because that's kind of the point of a 4K disc.
You're right.
HDR. I mean, it'll bump up the resolution, and maybe they'll put a different audio track, but
it's a new scan they're promoting, like with help from like the people. Which is weird.
They wouldn't just put regular HDR or anything, that's kind of the shining star for 4Ks. That's the reason to upgrade is HDR.
Yeah, and like I said last week, I was really excited for this 4K. And I don't know, I'm not as excited anymore. Like, I'm going to still probably grab it to do a review for the channel, because I actually don't have a Blu-ray of it, but I've seen this plenty of times in the past. It's not a bad-looking, like, DVD. It wasn't a bad-looking DVD, because my mom loves this movie. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm hoping, my biggest hope is that just on the press release, they just kind of forgot to throw it in there, whoever sent it out. I don't know if that's true.
That's a big mistake, but...
Yeah, I don't know. So really,
it's already gotten some backlash, right?
Yeah, well, like I was talking, I'm in that group that you invited me to on Twitter. I'm not on Twitter, on Facebook, where they buy and sell 4Ks, and there's just a lot of people talking about 4Ks in there. And he was the one who said that he'd noticed it because Mid-Level Media also reported it. Mm-hmm. But I read over the press release myself, and it's very possible that they just forgot to mention the HDR in there, because MVD, like I said, I don't know how they do transfers. This is the first time I know of them off the top of my head doing a 4K transfer, so it's possible that somebody in the press department just made a minor mistake and just forgot to put it in there. Right. I hope so, because it's hard to justify buying a 4K without HDR on it. Mm. So I don't know. That's the big thing that really stuck out to me. Other thing as far as news, and is one of my favorite comedies of all time, Groundhog Day, is coming to 4K. I don't know if you even like Groundhog Day.
I don't know if I've ever seen it in its entirety.
Really?
Actually, yeah. I've seen bits and pieces. I honestly can't remember a single scene from it. If I have seen it, it's been a very long time.
I love Groundhog Day.
I know you do.
That's a top 5 comedy of all time for me.
I do. I mean, I enjoy Bill Murray stuff. I probably would like the movie. I can't remember if I've seen it. So I guess that means it's due for a watching. Yes,
and it's getting its 30th anniversary 4K release in January, 5 years after it actually came to 4K already. And from what I was able to find, this is that exact same 4K, just repackaged in a steelbook. Mm-hmm. So look for some price drops on the 4K from Groundhog Day that just was previously released 5 years ago.
So maybe I'll go for the standard release, since
it's probably going to drop in price. And that standard release is an old 4K, but I looked it up. I actually don't own it. It has a True HD 7.1 and an Atmos track on it.
Atmos, huh?
Yeah, on a 2018 4K. I feel like
that's not that old.
I mean, but 4K format really only started to take off, I think, in like 2017, 18. Mm-hmm. So, I don't know, but yeah, that steelbook is nice, but for right now, what its MRP listing is at $38, I cannot justify for an old 4K disc.
Yeah, no, that seems extremely high.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll drop.
Yeah, I would hope.
I hope so, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. And then as far as news, that was really it. Did you watch any good movies this week for Halloween? Because I actually watched a great one, but...
Let's see, what did I watch this week? I watched that Trash Fire, Halloween 3. I watched...
Oh, you watched Terrifier.
I did watch Terrifier,
Yeah, let's talk about Terrifier, because I'm very curious. I have never seen Terrifier. Terrifier 2 is getting just lit up with positive reviews from theaters and everything, and people getting sick.
So, I would describe Terrifier... I almost want to say it's kind of like Maniac a little bit, but like if Rob Zombie was to like remake Maniac, maybe.
Oh, it's got that down and dirty, gritty feel to it?
Oh, it's a filthy, dirty, gritty movie. Actually, it kind of also gives you some Last House on the Left vibes also, if without spoiling too much, because I know you haven't seen it yet. I guess it's a B movie because like it looked like they went to a real pizzeria, just paid the guy who worked there to act, because it wasn't the best acting performance from the pizza guy, but again, it's just side characters, no big deal. Art the Clown originally originated from this anthology series All Hallows Eve, which I haven't seen yet. Actually, I think they're coming today from Amazon. I just ordered them. But Terrifier also just went out of print.
Yeah, this is the big thing as far as physical media goes, and people are reselling this at a very high rate.
Ridiculous. So, alright, so I want to finish up the movie because Art the Clown, very creepy guy. He's a sicko, you know. But he kind of gave me like a Rob Zombie type vibe, but where House of a Thousand Corpses type person. It's a fun slasher. It happens around Halloween time, so it's a great Halloween movie. And it just overall a decent movie. I enjoyed it. It's not the best slasher ever, but it's I can understand the cult following. I see that there. I think like soon as Terrifier 2 was like announced or something.
Well, I think
a couple weeks ago
when it hit theaters the reviews started coming in that Terrifier 2 is not only better than Terrifier 1, but it's a great movie.
So I was like, oh shit, I never seen the first one. Let me pick it up. So I picked this up from Best Buy for $14.99. 3 weeks ago, not even 3 weeks ago, I got this,
and I didn't think anything of you buying it.
Right? Yeah. So I picked it up, and it's actually really nice. Like once you pop it open, you have your DVD.
Okay, which is nice with the white
and your Blu-ray, but you also have artwork underneath.
I love it. That's one thing that we lost when we went to 4K.
Yeah.
Blu-ray discs had that transparent case,
right?
And it would have been cool if they would have done that with 4K.
Yeah, look at all the artwork underneath, which is really cool, and it's like a different type of box. This is so the studio is Dead Central. Very interesting release here. Region free. It's a region free Blu-ray, and that's just something you don't see often. But now apparently this is out of print.
And my guess is because, like you just said, that company is small. People all of a sudden started grabbing Terrifier because of Terrifier 2. So
it's not on Amazon anymore. They delisted it on Best Buy. And you go on eBay, and I could sell this for like $150 right now. And I just paid $15 for it.
That's crazy. And
2 weeks ago.
And I'm going to just say, I know people are desperate to watch this right now, and because they want to see Terrifier, they want to see Terrifier 2. My gut says, because this movie, Terrifier 2, is making so much money that it's just making hand over fist at the box office, that eventually we'll get a Terrifier 1 and 2 double pack, or at least a re-release of this.
I would assume, like...
Because the popularity...
Cash in on it for sure, but... I don't know. I mean, I'm glad I have this just in case that doesn't happen. But, I would love for that to come out. Also because I actually kind of got a little screwed on this one. So it's not going to pick it up on the camera. But I actually had 2 scenes where it froze and skipped for a second on me with this movie. And I looked at the Blu-ray, and it's actually got some scratches on it. So... I don't know how that happened because it was brand new. I just opened it, but I don't know if it's this if it's this case and it happened in shipping or stuff like that. But if there is a double pack, I would like to replace this disc down the road, but I'm not going to replace it for that much money. I'm going to look into some ways to remove scratches on Blu-ray. If you guys know how to remove a scratch on Blu-ray, because it's almost impossible to scratch a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Because
you had to put some force on that for that.
Right, so I'm assuming like it kind of got smushed in shipping. But again, I don't know how that happens. But if you guys know how to remove scratches on Blu-ray, let me know, because I would love to try to fix that. Because it wasn't a terrible skip. It was just enough to be annoying. And that bothers the shit out of me. So I would like to fix that or replace it down the road, which it doesn't look like I can do that anytime soon.
Yeah, and you pre-ordered Terrifier 2 already, right?
I actually pre-ordered 2 copies. I got the one from Walmart, the Steelbook, and then Amazon Collector's Edition, which is just a normal one like this. And I think I'd rather keep the regular one.
I'll buy whatever one you don't want.
Alright, so we have both coming? Okay.
Yeah. Because I do want to see that, and then I do want to see Terrifier 2.
Right, so you'll get one and I'll get one, okay.
And then one thing, again, we've been talking about on the channel is Barbarian, which came to HBO Max this week, and I finally got to check it out. And just spoiler alert for this, it's in my top 5 movies of the year. It was fantastic. This movie wasn't overhyped. I think you'll love it when you finally get around to it. I think you said you'll do it in November. But it is just a great horror movie. It's so original. You know, you got guys that I know you'll recognize, like Justin Long and our boy Richard Brake.
Oh, Justin Long's in it?
Justin Long's in it, and Richard Brake. Justin Long is in a lot of horror movies, I realize.
Love Justin Long.
Yeah, you know, Jeepers Creepers, Tusk, like he's a...
Speaking of somebody way off topic, maybe it's just the movies I watch, but Christina Ricci.
Oh yeah, she's in a lot too.
Oh,
because you just watched Casper.
Well, I just watched Casper. I just watched Sleepy Hollow.
She's terrible in Cursed, which you like.
I just watched Cursed. I just watched The Addams Family.
Yeah.
So she's in a lot of those spooky Halloween...
She's a scream queen in a way. She's not in the slasher genre, but she floats around, I guess, family horror, especially in the 90s.
Yeah.
You know, Christina Ricci, she's awesome. And Justin Long is another one. We don't appreciate Justin Long, because he is great in Barbarian. And it is just...
speaking of Justin Long, I got it, guys.
Oh, you got the Jeepers Creepers. There it is.
I got it. No slipcover, unfortunately. But look at that. 2-disc set. I love that original artwork.
Now, have you watched this yet?
No, I didn't.
Are you waiting for Reborn?
Yeah, I'm going to do an entire Jeepers Creepers watch through, and then I'll review Reborn when that comes out.
Isn't that next month?
Yeah, mid-November.
Mid-November,
yeah. So I'm going to be watching that soon. But, yeah, I love Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah, Justin Long is so good. I really think you're going to like this movie. If anyone has seen a trailer on it, try and erase that from your memory. Try to go into this as cold as possible, Barbarian, because it really does play with your expectations. Like, with the way this movie starts, it takes place at an Airbnb, and you think it's going one way. Like, if you ever see it in The Strangers or things, you think, okay, I see where this is going. It doesn't. Like, it really plays with your expectations all throughout, where you think the movie's going right, it shoots left. It's beautifully shot, amazing cinematography. They're moving the camera around so many different ways, incredibly. And, the effects are awesome. The only complaint I have is there's a CGI thing in there. I'm not going to spoil anything that I think could have been a little better, but for what they had and what this movie was supposed to be and its expectations, really just blew me away. And I'm hoping that 20th Century Fox and Disney give us that Blu-ray in 4K, and that enough people have made us think about it that we get that, because it deserves it. Because as much as HBO Max, I love that it's on there, it's the dark scenes it didn't handle it well. I mean, you've seen this before. The blacks,
Depression
they look gray, and I would have liked a 4K of it. That's all I can say.
Fix that. Speaking of CGI and Christina Ricci and Casper. CGI in Casper isn't bad.
No, well, that's early CGI. That's it too.
Yeah, it looked pretty good. I'm not gonna. Now, is the house CGI in Casper?
I don't know about that. It looks like a real house,
or it might just be a movie set.
Well, when they're inside, it's definitely on a soundstage.
Well, I think the outside too, because actually, even Danielle said it when we were watching it. The outside scene when they had all the construction work, and she's like, that's clearly a movie set. I was like, yeah, actually, I was just thinking the same thing.
It probably is. One thing I always take away from that movie is Dan Aykroyd playing the Ghostbuster.
With the mustache.
With the mustache, right? I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit, because I haven't seen Casper in a long time.
Fun fact, first movie I ever saw in theaters.
Really?
Casper the Friendly Ghost. 1995 that movie came out.
That was your first movie theater experience?
Well, it's the first one I remember going to. If that makes sense. I remember waiting in line. I remember, sitting at my seat and seeing it.
I can't remember my first movie theater experience at all.
That might not have been my first, but that's the first one I remember.
Right, yeah. I honestly, that's That's a good question. I would love to know that there's...
It sticks out. I literally remember the day. I remember getting in the car with my cousin, my aunt, going to see it, and it was special, and I still remember it. Is it Mel Gibson in I haven't seen Casper in a long time. Is he in The Mirror?
Yes. Yeah. It's a quick cameo. There's a couple cameos in that movie. But I had a good time watching Casper.
Casper the Friendly Ghost. Great movie. Great Halloween movie, right?
Great family Halloween movie for sure.
Bill Pullman.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The height of his powers.
Yeah, I guess. Now, who's the girl, the evil...
Okay, so I actually have a lot to say about her. Let me get her name right, because she's in a lot of stuff.
She sort of reminded me of Jennifer Tilly from, like, The Bride of Chucky, or...
She was in Raging Bull, and she looks completely different.
De Niro?
Yes, she plays the love interest in Raging Bull. Actually, she takes a right hook from Robert De Niro's character, knocks her the fuck out.
Really?
Yeah. It's brutal, that movie.
Where was he in Casper?
Robert De Niro was not in Casper.
We could have used that right hook.
We could have.
We could have. She was the villain.
Yeah, so she's a horrible person.
Yeah.
I was someone I was happy that she died. Really, for the age I saw that movie, a lot of death in that movie.
There was a lot of sexual innuendos also in that movie.
Yeah, it's weird that Christina Ricci and the Ghost of Casper, they start dancing at the end.
They kiss.
Yeah.
He was all happy that she was in his bed, and there was some like creepy things to it, like cringy little.
And the way he died, didn't he die from like pneumonia? Like he got a cold from sleigh riding or something?
It was whatever. It's a kids movie. I guess that was a way to say, like, I told you wear your coat when you go out.
Yeah.
You know,
so you see what happened to him?
Yeah.
You're not coming back.
You want to be Casper? So that was probably it was for the parents.
Yeah.
But overall, great movie, classic.
All right. Well, let's dive into the Q&A because we have a lot of questions this week, and it's going to take us a while to get through them, so we might as well just dive right into them. And we're going to start off right out of the gate with a question we got on last week's video.
Oh, you know what else I watched this week? Which I actually do want to bring up? E.T. on 4K.
Oh, yes, which actually has its 40th anniversary edition. Did it already come out?
It did. Is that a new scan?
No, it's not a new scan.
It's the
same scan that you have.
Do you find that the 4K is too dark?
I haven't watched the 4K on my new TV, but when I watched it on my Sony, it was fine, I thought. I didn't think it was the greatest 4K.
Because, so my Panasonic has HDR optimizer. So I actually had to it goes from standard to natural environment to light environment to bright environment. And I had to run it in light to bright because that was a very dark, like specific, like the one scene that I really noticed it when he was explaining the action figures to E.T., like Boba Fett and...
Oh, okay, but the room is dark.
It is dark. Like, I don't know if that was by design, but it was just a silhouette of Elliot and E.T., and he's shown... But I remember there being color to that.
I just feel like that's a dark... If I remember correctly, because they're in his bedroom, right?
Yes.
And his room is lit, and it's shining through the blinds.
Right.
Yeah,
yep.
which I think that's supposed to be dark.
So... Yeah, so I thought that was a bit dark, and then right after that it goes to them outside at the bus stop, and the kid's wearing like a white or gray sweater, and it was too white and bright.
Yeah, okay,
so
that would be definitely...
I had to lower it back down.
Okay, yeah.
So I had a bit of an HDR issue with that disc, but it's not Dolby Vision.
No, and that's something I specifically checked for the 4th anniversary edition because I would have grabbed it if it would have had Dolby Vision on it. Yes. But it was just...
Like, and I don't like the steelbook. It's okay. It's like that 80s design.
That's what they're going for, yeah.
I get that, but I don't... Again,
just doesn't work for you?
Yeah, I've been kind of shying away from steelbooks, honestly.
The only reason why I think that the original steelbook with the slipcover is better is because that's the original poster, and that's one of the most, like, come on, him jumping over the moon? Like,
well, he's not jumping over it.
Well, I mean, he's in perspective.
He's riding in front of it.
Yeah, well, it looks like he's jumping over the moon.
It doesn't, because he's in the middle.
Well, his silhouette is in the moon.
Right.
It became the shot for whatever Steven Spielberg's production company is. Starts with an A. I'm drawing a blank on
Berlin.
Ambient Films or something like that.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that became the logo. That's how iconic that shot is.
Wait a minute. So I just grabbed my ET VHS. It's Amblin.
Amblin, okay.
Yep. But that's the shot. So over would be up here.
Yes, I can.
This is through in front. But you guys remember the green flap on ET?
It's also green in there on the reel.
Oh yeah, on the reel. Check that out.
I remember this.
How cool is that?
And look, I actually have this on my wall, but like I just love that
ET?
ET's to the left. Like,
Yeah, ET. This is a great one.
I'm getting a little nostalgic here. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah, this is a cool piece. I have all my VHSs up top.
Yeah, when we eventually do Matt's entire basement, when we show off his entire room, we're working on. He's building like a little setup for when we do podcasting. So once it's all done, we'll show it off.
Yeah.
But right now it's in construction, just like my house. If you notice that I changed my setup and I'm in front of the computer, the house is under construction, so it's kind of like got to make do with what we got.
Yeah, I've been in a construction zone for
3 years.
Almost.
Yeah, so it's a slow process, but once we get that done, we'll show it off because Matt has a lot of cool pieces down here. Yeah. Really amazing stuff because he has a lifetime. Matt doesn't throw anything away, so it's a lifetime of stuff.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Sort of.
So unfortunately, you have gotten rid
of
some
and resold, sold and rebought, or stuff like that.
Imagine you didn't sell anything.
Yeah, I would have a lot.
Yeah. So diving into the Q&A, our first question is from JRP. His question is, what is your go-to game? What is your go-to game when you are bored and just want to play a game for fun? Mine is Uncharted 4, which Uncharted 4 is a great game. It's one of the Uncharted.
I remember reading this.
Yeah, it's from last week's video.
That is an interesting choice for a board game because that's, it's a story narrative game where I guess there's a chapter select and you can choose your favorite chapters, but that's kind of like a sit down, concentrate, pay attention. I think of a board game kind of like on my Xbox, I always keep Uno. I jump into
That's
Uno.
your board? That's crazy.
Marble Blast.
Okay, Marble Blast I would agree with you with.
Marble Blast doesn't go. But as of recently, it's been Forza Horizon 5. I've been addicted to Forza, and I just like jumping in there, customizing some cars, building some cars, and just driving around, drifting. And the new Hot Wheels DLC for that is a blast. I actually just finished it last night. I 100%ed it. I'm on my X tier now, where it's just kind of your victory lap around. But I had a great time with that. I discovered every road. I almost 100%ed that entire game. I absolutely love Forza. So that's really up there for me. I'm trying to think what else I keep on my Xbox as like just bullshit board games, or even on my PC. I have this game called Beam MG. It's basically like a crash simulator where you could just... they're not licensed vehicles, but it's just got this insane physics and the damage, and it's just... look up Beam MG on
We actually
YouTube.
have a video on this channel of Matt playing it.
Yeah, just a couple crashes, but the damage physics are absolutely insane. And I could just sit there for hours, and you could just bring the car up 1,000,000 feet and just drop it to the ground, and it just explodes into 1,000,000,000 pieces. You could drive till the wheels fall off. You could pop the head gaskets on vehicles, and then they overheat, and you could blow the exhaust off. It gets louder. It's just every little detail. You can get flat tires. It's just such an awesome game. You could do drifting in the game, racing, rock crawling, which I'm a big fan of. And it's just, that's another board game I play.
So for me, my board game is Madden. I've always bought the Madden series every single year. And for me, I'll dive in, I'll play for an hour. What I like to do is I like to create a quarterback. That's me. And I like to play for him if he played in the NFL.
Is his name Johnny Spade?
No, his name is John Heath. He's the quarterback right now for the New York Jets. And right now we're on our second season. So I do this every single year. I just like to dive in and pretend live out a fantasy if I was a quarterback in the NFL, which will never happen. And for me, it's fun. It's like turn my brain off. Like it helps with my anxiety. Yep. It's either that or back in the day, I don't do it anymore, but I used to like to play the Tony Hawk's and the skate games.
Yeah.
Just free skate.
That's another good one too. Skate is just free skating around. I've actually, funny you say that, I've been researching this new game called Session, and
I looked into Session
and Skate XL.
Skate XL I heard was but Session I heard is good. I don't know if it's out yet, but I heard
well, there was a demo for it, but it is out, yeah. And I played the demo, and it was really hard. Like these are very hard simulation games.
I've been floating around with the idea of re-downloading Skate 3.
I have that installed actually at all times. Borderlands I always have installed.
I always have NASCAR, whatever the most recent NASCAR game is installed, because I'm a fan of NASCAR, and I'll just go in there and do a quick race.
Right, yep.
The last few haven't been good, though, so it's been disappointing, but that's another series that kind of has fallen off.
Yep, and I've been playing the new Call of Duty a lot, the Modern Warfare 2, which I think we should have a review out yesterday.
It would be yesterday.
Yesterday, if you're viewing this video on a Sunday, because I think that'll be our Saturday video.
Yep.
But I've been having a lot of fun with the new Call of Duty, and I'm not a huge Call of Duty guy. I love the campaigns. Just check out my review, and you'll see my thoughts on Call of Duty. But it is, I think, worth the buy this year.
Oh, well, that's good news. And then moving on to our next question, we got a bunch here. Top 5 4Ks you want to see from Scream Factory.
Ooh.
So number one for both of us, I mean, obviously we said we wanted Arrow to do it, but Terminator would be an awesome Scream Factory release.
I guess so. My mind actually did not go to Terminator.
Really?
My first thing was Nightmare on Elm Street.
Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah, I would love a Scream Factory. You guys could probably see it right here. This is the only set we have, but Scream Factory would be awesome for that.
I would love for Scream Factory to do a box set of the Nightmare on Elm Street. I would love to get Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2 on 4K from Scream Factory. I would like them to finish out the Chucky series.
That would be nice. I would like Bride of Chucky.
Bride of Chucky, and the other ones, but Bride of Chucky would be nice.
Yeah,
I would like a nice complete box set. And then I would also like if they did an Aliens box set.
You think Scream Factory could handle Aliens? I think they would do a good job with that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I guess that's considered a horror franchise, because Scream Factory really does tackle mostly horror. And what are some other good 80s or 90s horror that you would like to see them get a hold of? Like, off the top of my head, there's some, like, have they done, like, the Dracula 2000s already? Like,
no, so I have that in a double pack.
But that's not them?
Miramax Lionsgate
release. So maybe if, like, Scream Factory tackled, like, some of those little horror. They've gotten most of the Wes Cravens and John Carpenters, which is really cool that Scream Factory has tackled all of those. So Scream Factory has tackled a lot of the big horror movies.
Yeah.
For the most part, a lot of the big horror movies have been tackled. It's just like, okay, do you want some, like, modern ones? Like, I don't know if I want to see them do, like, the A24 movies like Midsommar or Hereditary.
What about Pearl and X?
Like, those are A24 also.
Oh, okay.
So I think A24 does a good job on their own transfers, that I don't think that Scream Factory has to get a hold of them. You know, Scream Factory, like, they handle more, like, the low-budget stuff. Like, they already did Trick or Treat or Body Bags, like I know you're a big fan of. You know, a lot of those B-horror movies. And speaking of B-horror movies, because we did get a question about this, and I've never seen it.
Yeah, but the Nightmare on Elm Street was rumored, and actually Scream Factory actually...
They teased us.
No. They put out... But... Okay, maybe they teased us, but they put out a they were talking in some sort of video. I forget what it was. Mid-Level Media put out they covered it. Problem with the Nightmare on Elm Streets was a licensing thing, because they couldn't get the license because they want to do that. They've been trying. They've been actively trying.
They're trying to get it?
For years, they've been trying to do this, and the problem is. The New Line is still considered as an active
franchise?
Active franchise or active property. And
how?
I don't know, but because the last one they did was 2009, right? I guess there's been a movie in the works or something like that, but they can't get the license from them to have them do a 4K release. It's a bit of a bummer, because I know that's probably on the top of a lot of people's lists.
I don't like the set we have right now. I think the quality of the films is good, but I don't think it's the greatest.
No, it's not. It's definitely the best way to watch right now, but I would love a proper Friday the 13th style box set of Nightmare on Elm Street.
All right. And actually bringing it to, like, a series of movies out of... And talking about another series of B movies. I don't know if they're B movies. I just never had heard of them. I've heard of them, but I've never seen them. And have you ever heard of the movie Angel? Because Liam B. asked us, have you seen Angel 1984 and its sequels? What did you think about them? I just saw the first one and thought it was good.
No.
So I'm going to read you what the synopsis says on Wikipedia. Angel is a 1984 American exploitation thriller film directed by Robert Vincent O'Neill. So it follows a teenage prostitute in Los Angeles who faces danger when a serial killer begins stalking and murdering young sex workers. And this actually has sequels too, and it's from the 80s.
Let me see the cover. I never even seen or heard of that.
Really?
Yeah.
So I've heard of that, but I've never seen it, and now I really want to check it out.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Yeah,
it's kind of... What was that? We were just talking about this, like that John Carpenter movie about the guy across the way that was spying through the apartment building.
Oh, we were talking about that TV movie that he did at the same year as Halloween, I believe.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. This movie has there's 4 movies in this series.
Interesting.
So I do want to check these out, Liam, but I can't say if I did or didn't yet. So, I mean, I could say I didn't yet.
Are they on Blu-ray?
Oh, yeah, it looks that way.
So that one, I think it said Angel 3 or 4. It kind of reminded me of that remember that movie with Pam Anderson, Barbed Wire?
Yeah, you have Barbed Wire, don't you?
No, I don't think I did.
Oh, I thought you had Barbed Wire.
No, I never got it.
But no, I'm interested in checking that. So, Liam, maybe we'll grab them on Amazon and we'll give you a review for them down the line. Like, that's what we try and do. Or, like, if you give us some recommendations you want us to do, maybe even eventually we'll review stuff just on the YouTube Shorts that we can't fit into, like, a regular video. But, yeah, we'll do a review for that eventually, Liam, because we want to check that out. We're very curious about that. Then our next question is it possible that you make video game videos? And this is from Gordon Freeman. Kevin L. asked our top 5 Scream Factories, by the way. But Gordon Freeman...
Great name.
Yep, I know.
Half-Life.
Yeah, we've talked. He asked if we can make gameplay videos. So this is really...
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, if you check out, again, this is Sunday's video, so if you look at our last video yesterday on Saturday, I reviewed the new Call of Duty with some gameplay in that. But it's a lot of time involved with these gameplay videos, and then because John's our only editor right now, so it is a lot to put on his plate. We would love to do some more game videos, and we do have some in the works, but it's not going to be an everyday thing. Maybe once a week at best for right now. But expect 1 or 2 a month at least, going forward.
Yeah. As I get faster at editing, I can get it to where I can edit 2 videos a day. Like, I can edit 2 videos a day on the weekends, but unfortunately I do have a full-time job.
Right.
And we want to make sure we give you guys a video every single day. And the only way we can do that is it's a lot easier for me to edit a movie review because it's a lot of shots of just Matt or I in the frame, and then I just put clips over it. Whereas gameplay footage, like, I gotta, like, sift through it, like, because it's hours of footage that Matt will capture, and then I gotta sift, like, okay, this looks better here, and this looks better here. So a game review definitely takes a lot more time.
And another thing with the game review is it's kind of like I can go onto my shelf and I can pick out of the thousands of games that I have, but it's just how well is that video going to do for us? I can go review something, and it's just like we try in the beginning of the channel. I did walkthroughs.
If you go back and look, Matt.
I don't know if they're still on there because we had a copyright thing.
No, but I never took down the BioShock ones. The only video that we actually put up that we took down
was Batman Arkham Asylum.
Did we take down Arkham?
I had to, yeah.
Oh. Well, we took down that. Then I guess we also took down our Halo trailer reaction for the Halo TV series.
Oh, did we?
Because we couldn't get that somehow through the copyright
Gotcha.
either. But when we were really new,
Yeah, if you look at our playlist, we might have a gameplay or walkthrough playlist, and I did play through the entire BioShock 1 on PC. I played that with mouse and keyboard. And I was enjoying doing that series because I was just recording me playing. But that was in the beginning of the channel, so we were still messing around with the editing, still learning that, and we were getting hit with a lot of copyright things because there's licensed music in the BioShock games, specifically like the audio files, or when you walk into certain areas of the map, there'll be some music playing. And that was the problem with the Batman Arkham Asylum games. The score was licensed.
And WB is the worst with, like,
throwing up
copyright claims.
Yeah, we uploaded. I had, like, 17 copyright strikes from, like, an hour's worth of gameplay from Batman. So that was a bit of a letdown, and it seemed like every game we put up and with gameplay on it, we were getting strikes. So we kind of just chalked it up to a loss, and we said, well, we'll try to revisit this down the road. And I would like to because I enjoy playing video games, and hey, if I can make a video out of it, sure.
Yeah, we didn't half-ass this. If you also look through our tech reviews, we have reviews for a bunch of Elgato stuff because we bought all the gameplay capture equipment to do it.
Yeah, so we have it. It's in the works. It's in the plan. It's in the future.
Mm-hmm.
It's coming, but don't hold your breath.
We gotta, like, build a little bit more of a foundation before we can really start doing more of that, but it will happen. It's just, kind of got to bear with us. Like, right now, our bread and butter, especially this week coming up, guys, it's going to be just 4K review after 4K review, because this week, if you guys see what's coming out we're pretty much reviewing all of it. So every day you can pretty much look for a brand new 4K Blu-ray review as long as they get here in time.
Back to the game thing. Actually, November is a big month for video games in general. But that was a big month for my favorite game of all time, Gears of War, and I think we're going to do something.
Oh, we are doing something.
We're going to do something for Gears of War, maybe the entire franchise, specifically the first one. So look for that coming soon.
Yep, yeah, because Emergence Day is coming up.
Sure is.
And then moving on to
Actually, I got to get on that if we're going to get it out by Emergence Day. What is that, the 7th or the 9th?
I think I thought it was closer to your birthday, but I could be...
No, it's the 7th or the 9th.
And then another question, this is just a guess a joke question, but Dean asked us, our buddy Dean, he asked us, why do fools fall in love?
Because they're fools.
I mean, I'm married, aren't you engaged?
Yeah, but, you know, they're fools.
They're fools.
Fools.
And then Uncle V asked us a serious question, because Uncle V is the reason why me and Matt have seen a Serbian film. He asked, what were your greatest letdowns or disappointments regarding purchases, films, or even endings? Like movies that ended bad, I guess.
Well, I'm going to say my biggest disappointment of the year is going to be Halloween Ends.
Oh, yeah. That was probably the biggest disappointment. Yeah, that's definitely more disappointing. I was going to say, that's not the worst movie I've seen this year. That still belongs to Morbius by a fucking country mile.
No, I think I'd actually rather watch Morbius over Halloween Ends.
I'll watch Halloween Ends 3 times in one day, then watch Morbius again.
Oof,
Morbius made me sick.
Nah.
I mean, oh my god.
I'm not really trying to defend Morbius because it wasn't great, but Halloween Ends was just bad. At my command center, my desk, I have 3 monitors. So I was gaming yesterday, playing Call of Duty, and I put on Halloween Ends, streamed it from Peacock, just in the background, you know, so it's off to the left. I could see it in my peripheral, and I was listening to it as I was playing. And that movie was worse the second time around. And I just remember, it's hard for me to, like, dislike a movie, specifically, like, a franchise movie like that. Like, I usually give them all a pass. Like, I like Halloween 5. I love the Rob Zombie ones. I love all of the Halloween movies. And that is, I think I would even put that one under Halloween 3. And I don't like Halloween 3. So, yeah.
I mean, Halloween Ends is the worst Halloween movie, but that fact that Halloween 3 is floating around there is...
Oh, it's right above it. Yeah.
Halloween 3 is on top of the castle. He's the king, while Halloween Ends is the peasant that, you know, can get killed at any time.
No, they are...
He's just so useless.
They are
Wow.
They're interchangeable for the worst in the series for me.
That is very disappointing
That's
to hear.
easily the bottom 2, for sure.
But my biggest disappointment of all time isn't a movie. It's a video game, and that is Lost Planet. I believe that this is a Capcom game from 2000.
It is a Capcom game, not a terrible game.
From 2007 or 2008, and I remember being so excited for this Xbox 360 game. I had it pre-ordered, I took it home, and I hated that game. I still hate that game. I've never been more disappointed by a game than I ever was with that game. Now, movie-wise, I was probably the most disappointed by Avatar. And that's actually why I haven't revisited it in so long, because I saw this opening night when movies used to get released at midnight. So I saw it at midnight the day it came out. Me and a couple guys from school, because I was still in high school. And we just couldn't wait to see this. We loved all the trailers. James Cameron, we're sold. I walked out of that movie feeling like somebody just punched me in the balls. Then while I was bent over, because my balls hurt so bad, somebody came over and fucking big booted me in the nose. So that's just, I couldn't take it. And I haven't revisited it since, and we're going to revisit it because Avatar 2, Way of the Water, is coming out.
Not looking forward to that at all.
But yeah, were you disappointed? Because we're James Cameron guys here on the channel.
Yeah, well, are we? Yeah, it's really just Terminator and Aliens.
What do you mean? You got Terminator, Aliens, I mean, I guess you... Well, no, I mean, you haven't seen all his movies, right? You've never seen True Lies or The Abyss?
I have True Lies on VHS. I haven't gotten to it yet. I did not see The Abyss.
And Titanic is great.
I like Titanic, yeah. I guess we're Cameron guys.
Yeah, Cameron, you know.
I even watched The Ghost of the Abyss.
Yeah, you like all that stuff.
Yeah, all the ones when he's... Yeah, I guess I could say I'm a Cameron guy.
Yeah, I think we can all agree that James Cameron is amazing. He's always raising the bar. So that's our biggest disappointments ever, I would say. And then
I'm sure I have some other disappointments.
I mean, you're a disappointment to me at all times. Our last question, this is from Shamrock Balls, who is one of our biggest supporters. And he wrote, "Hey lads, happy Friday." I'm writing this on a Friday. "I know you have mentioned that you like the early Batman movies, but overall, which is your favorite Batman film and why? Cheers, happy Halloween. I hope you have both you both have a spooky, fun-filled weekend with a bunch of.
This is
getting harder, right?
This is a tough one.
Yeah,
because again, this goes back to our Halloween conversation where the first one, it has to be 89, right?
Well, 89 is my personal favorite. No, and because you don't need 89 to really make Batman movies, because Batman existed well before Batman 89.
I guess so. But Batman 89 is great.
Batman 89 that's my favorite one, and I'm going to sit here and I'm going to explain to you why Batman 1989 is the best Batman movie. So buckle up, Buttercup, because the reason is simple. Batman 1989 not only features the best Batman and Michael Keaton, but it features a director with a clear-cut vision of a world he wanted to be in. Gotham City, that's the Gotham City I always picture. And these were built on sets in London. They built Gotham City, and when I think of Gotham City, I think of this Tim Burton world with this Danny Elfman score playing over everything. Oh, yeah. Michael Keaton is incredible as Batman. Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson are in my top 5 actors of all time. And they are in this movie together. So right off the bat, I'm just on the actors alone, and Jack Nicholson is incredible as the Joker. And then, on top of that, you know who one of my favorite musical artists of all time is? Fucking Prince. And I love that Prince soundtrack in this movie. Yeah.
That is true.
So it's like they went together, and I wasn't even born when this movie came out, but it's like they took all my favorite things, and they put it in one movie. So Batman 1989, I watch it just to calm down. Like, I put that movie on. I put it on when I first got my OLED TV a couple weeks ago. First movie that went in there was Batman 1989.
Yeah.
I love that.
I do love that movie. I agree with pretty much everything he just said. But I also really liked Batman Returns.
Batman Returns is great.
That's a great one also, because I like Catwoman and Penguin in that movie. Danny DeVito as Penguin.
Oh, he's
awesome.
Disgusting.
Yeah, he's vile.
Ugh.
But again, like, Batman Forever is a big one for me.
Well, that's more nostalgia, but like,
and
me and you both haven't gotten to it yet, and people are going to kill us. But The Dark Knight.
Oh yeah, The Dark Knight. Obviously, have we not?
It's
really,
hard.
the only bad Batman movie is Batman and Robin.
Yeah, no, and The Dark Knight Rises, speaking of disappointments, I was very disappointed with The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises was a bit of a disappointment.
But it's not a bad movie.
It's better. Because we just reviewed these.
Oh yeah, we have a review for every single Batman movie on this channel.
Yeah, if you dig deep, actually no, I made a playlist for all our Batman videos.
Yeah, but we're a little bit green. That was one of our early review series,
right? But I would say that reviewing of The Dark Knight Rises was my favorite viewing. I did enjoy that the most that time. It's definitely the weakest in that trilogy.
That's the problem, is because Batman Begins in the Dark... Because the Batman Begins is my second favorite Batman
over Dark Knight.
Yes. And actually, I'm having a hard time because I really love the Batman. And
the new Bat with Rob Pattinson.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome, too.
And that's moving up my list. And, I can't let anything dethrone Batman 89 just because of nostalgia purposes, but the Batman is such a well-made movie, my God.
It is. It really is. But and I'm going to circle back to Batman Forever because I just have a ton of nostalgia, and that was probably as a kid my most watched Batman.
When I was a kid, actually Batman Returns was my most watched Batman as a kid. I only had one Batman VHS, and it was Batman Returns.
I had Batman Forever. I might have had Batman Returns.
I rented Batman Forever a lot, but for some reason, we didn't own it.
I owned that one. I remember owning that. I might have even had Batman and Robin, but even as a kid, I didn't watch Batman and Robin as much.
I watched Batman and Robin a lot as a kid, actually.
I did, but it still bothers me today. I didn't like that it wasn't Val Kilmer again.
I hate that. But I also don't like Val Kilmer as Batman.
I like Val Kilmer.
I feel like he's emotionless, and he explains it.
It's not even like George Clooney was a bad Batman.
George Clooney's a good... The problem with George Clooney is he's not really playing Batman. He's kind of playing George Clooney.
Right, yeah. Again, it's just that movie was just a little too over the top. Maybe I aged out at the time.
I will go on YouTube and look up Arnold Schwarzenegger banging out.
Yeah.
The puns that make me laugh.
I mean, I have that on VHS still. Yeah. I have it on...
I think every line he says is an ice pun, right?
Oh, it is, yeah, 100%. But it's, again, there's not a bad Batman movie. They're all great in their own way. Batman and Robin's definitely the weakest of the bunch, for sure. But I still come back to that maybe once, probably not every year, but every 2 years I'll watch Batman and Robin. And then the other ones I watch at least once a year. But again, number one, it's really hard for me.
I think my top three, if you ask me on the right day, I'll always say Batman 89. But if you catch me at the right time, I might admit to you that The Dark Knight or The Batman are a better made movie. But if you're asking what my favorites are, it's always going to be Batman 89 followed by Batman Begins. Because those are my favorite movies. I'm always big into the first of a series. I've just noticed that about me. Like, when you start to get, like, you don't get Batman's origin story, you get the Joker's in 89. And The Dark Knight, you get the Joker's again, I guess. But actually, he's already the Joker.
Yeah.
But the Batman Begins, you get Batman's origin story. And I love a good origin story. I eat that shit up.
Yeah, except Spider-Man. They did that a bunch.
They did it too many times.
Yeah.
If I have to see Uncle Ben die one more time on my screen...
But they did a lot of Batman origin stories, too, I
well,
guess.
the pearls. The fucking pearls hitting the ground.
Yeah. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Alright, guys, I just want to thank everybody who asked questions this week. We had Shamrock Balls, Uncle V, Kevin L, Liam B, Gordon Freeman, and our buddy Dean Kramer. I want to thank all you guys for asking questions.
Dean Kramer?
How do you pronounce his last name?
Catchmere or something like that.
Catchmere?
Catchmar?
I'm sticking with Dean Kramer. Dean, I don't know.
Spumoni.
Yeah, I don't know how to say your last name, buddy, but, you know, we love you. And just want to thank all you guys for asking questions. And if you guys want to ask questions for next week's Let's Talk Physical Media, you can leave those in the comments section below, or I will put out a post on Thursday letting you know to leave a question there. Any kind of comments, concerns you guys want to leave those in the comment section below. As always, we want to chat with you guys. That's the biggest thing we do here on the channel, is we just love chit-chatting and talking movies, video games, and whatever else you guys want to talk about. Matt's receding hairline, it doesn't matter.
And what physical media are you guys watching on Halloween?
Yeah, it's Halloween weekend. Halloween is tomorrow. Let us know. Hopefully you're watching Halloween 3. That is the best Halloween movie that's ever existed.
Nope.
But anyway, guys, thanks for joining us on another edition of Let's Talk Physical Media. Nothing helps us out more than by liking this video, subscribing to the channel, and telling all your friends.